Welcome to the Christian Life Coach Collective. I'm your host, Laura Malone, and you are in the right place if you want to make an impact in your life and the lives of the people around you. Maybe you even want to turn your gift of helping others into an income so you can support your family and your dreams and make a way for your calling. I'm here to guide you because you deserve to have encouragement and resources and somebody invested in you as you go invest yourself into everyone else. Let's dive into today's episode. All right, so this is still another episode about assessments that help you kind of discover identity and identify and get language for strengths and characteristics and parts of who you are and all of those things, because there's different measurable parts of you and me, right? Of our soul. So there's how and who you are uniquely in personality, how and what you think, how and what you feel, and how and what you do. Ultimately, you know, if you've listened, I explained how your body is the outer being, your soul is your inner being, and your spirit is your innermost being. And the components of your soul are basically your personality, mind, emotions, and will. And you also know, if you listen, that I believe from our paradigm, the way we believe and think, we connect to our emotions and we do things because of what we think and feel. So having some tools to assess all of these areas and having language that helps us understand ourselves is super, super valuable. And I don't really even see it as like a measuring, because I think it really just gives a little permission to the brain to compare what only ends up in pride or pain when you do measuring. And I want to help you, I just want to invite you to come away from that concept that measuring anything is to compare. Because as with all of these assessments, like, you are you. It's an identifier, right? It's you identifying, not labeling. I know some of you are going to be like, I will not be labeled. Other people are like, please label me. It makes me feel like there's sense of the world. But when you can identify and give language to things within your soul, actually can really help set you free. But not if you see it as a measuring stick and a way for you to have to be more like somebody else or be better than who you already are. Okay? All right. I think all of these assessments are like filters. They give us the language and identify things about ourselves once we understand that language. I think we likely have the ability to tap into all of the characteristics that these different tools assess. And there are many categories of individual characteristics, and I believe we can grow and we can lean into characteristics. We can be put in situations. There's the nurture, there's the nature that helps draw things out of us. So let's talk about the ways that we assess the areas of our soul so that, you know, we humans love to explore. And then we're going to dial in this episode on one specific that you probably don't think about very much. The how and who you are in personality that's just identified in like lots of different ways. There's lots of assessments out there, like the Enneagram, the 4 temperaments. Those are kind of a little bit older, like the phlegmatic, sanguine, choleric, melancholy. You would basically just choose an assessment depending on what resonates with you and helps you understand more about your unique design in personality. Then there's how and what you think. That's the cognitive part of you. And it refers to more like your intelligence, your skills, reasoning, knowledge, experience. Usually like it's measured by academic tests and IQ tests and things like that. Then there's how and what you feel. And that's like the affective part. It is your preferences, desires, attitudes, emotions that motivate you. And a lot of people will use things like Myers-Briggs to help understand that, or that's really speaking more to like your emotional intelligence, which is becoming more prevalent in today's society, to understand that IQ, it will only take you so far if you have like a low EQ, your emotional quotient. Then there is the how and what you do. That's the cognitive part. And so it refers to your most natural way of operating out of your personal energy, talents, drive, instinct. And if you can identify your MO, which is like your method of operation, your mode of operation, you're going to end up being more sustainably effective and successful in the long run. So the assessment I use is called the Kolbe A Index, Kolbe, and then the letter A. And that's used to measure the most instinctive strengths of your MO. And then it helps you know how can you best implement them. So it actually is helping to predict what you'll do based on this. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So cognitive action is all very like instinctual, okay? It's conscious action that's coming from a more internal and instinctual place. It's like second nature. And I think of it like involuntary body functions like breathing and blinking. It's all the things that we do in life that are it's determined by our individual design, regardless of the circumstances, how we would instinctually respond, react, and what we would do. And one thing that I really love about the assessment is that Kathy Kolbe, who created it, she basically shares that she believes, and I agree with her, I think she's right, everybody's answers are the right answers. So many of my clients as students have struggled with their natural inclination to compete, compare, and measure, but to have like an assessment solidify that you do exactly what you're supposed to, right where you are. And who you are is so important in a world, this message is so important in a world where there's constantly a message that you're not right as who you are. You should be different. You should be more like them. You should be more like me. You should be like more like, etc. Right? And then when you get your results, and I believe at the time that I took the assessment, I think I paid $50. And I'm going to tell you what, it was worth the $50. I don't pay $50 for assessments unless I really, really believe I'm going to get something a lot out of it, right? There's no coaching with it. You're just getting results. And a lot of stuff I'm like, what? You want how much money? But I actually had kind of like a mentor who had done this and talked a lot about it. And I thought, if she thinks this is solid, I'm going to trust her with it. So when you get your results, it says something like, which it said for me, congratulations, Laura. You got a perfect score on the Kolbe AX index. And when was the last time you heard that? Like somebody was like, you got a perfect score. I don't know the last time I got a perfect score on anything in my life. Even if I got a high score, I didn't get a perfect score. And with every result, you also get like this audio recording of Kathy Kolbe talking to you about your results. And I think that's amazing because it's like somebody is really speaking to you with compassion and encouragement and this smile that says like, you are exactly who you should be, doing exactly what you should do. That's awesome. And then like, I think it's like 5% of the population has the same results of you because it's so dialed in and so specific to you. And one of the main goals of the Kolbe Index is to validate that how you operate is right. Like it's right for you. And to teach you how to resist the external pressure from others and from yourself to do it the way somebody else would do it. And I think when we see people on stages and we see people doing things a certain way or on social media, we're inclined to believe with our human nature, we should be doing it their way. That's what we're doing wrong. We're not doing it the way they do it. And the Kolbe A actually helps predict what will work for you if you do it and what won't work for you if you do it. So I love that because I'm like, tell me what to do to be most effective, most efficient, and have the greatest impact. So there are 4 MOs assessed here, and they help you understand what you will instinctually naturally do when you're in any given situation. So they're instinctual behaviors, and even though that can't necessarily be measured, the results can be. So every result on the Kolbe A index is a perfect result. There's no need to grow in strength or improve your score in any area. And even though there's a scale, okay, of 1 to 10, but it's not a hierarchy like the 1's better than the 10's better than the 1. One number's not better than the other. It simply means that you're going to fall into one of 3 categories. If you, in any of these MOs, if you land and you're like a 1, 2, or a 3, you're going to fall into a category that is more counteractive. That's amazing. There need to be counteractive people in the world. If you fall as a 4, 5, or 6, you're going to fall into a category that's reactive. And we need reactive people in the world in that method of operation, right? And then the 7s to 10s, they fall into a category that initiates action, and we need them. So the world and the teams and the families, like, all need counteractive, reactive, and initiative people to be alive. None of these things are bad. We need to actually have people around us that fall into the different categories to help leverage all of our strengths. So the 4 MOs are fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer. So in the fact finder, this categorizes the best way you gather and share information, and that might be to simplify options with overviews, explain just the essentials, or specify with lots and lots of detail. The follow through refers to how you organize and design things. So maybe you adapt with shortcuts and you multitask. Maybe you go find out what's wrong and fix it. Or maybe you design more organizational systems. Mine's to maintain. I find what's wrong and I fix it. I'm really good at fixing things. So this MO is all about being focused and organized in a way that's best for you individually. The quick start mode of operation is about dealing with risks and uncertainty. And it's kind of like the intangibles. And some people stick with what is already working well. Some people test things out before buying in, like they want a free trial, putting their toes in the water. And then some people, like me, innovate and experiment to see what's going to happen. So this one's all about originality and vision and what you do with it. Implementer MO is all about how we handle the literal intangible things. So some people use their imagination and create solutions. Some people look at the current solution and keep that going, make sure that stays working. And then some people, they need to create and build concrete solutions, like very tangible things that can be felt and touched. So basically for me, my results are I innovate by brainstorming. I look at all the possibilities. I don't try to do this. It happens to me. Again, all of these things are intuitive. They're instinctual, and you're doing them because they are who you are. It's the way you do things. You were designed to do things this way, so it's natural. It comes really easy. I don't go looking for things that are wrong or things to fix. I just see them. I'm not trying. And then I'm not trying to fix them because they're bad. I have a natural instinct to try to fix something to help have greater impact and help to serve more people and help the people who, they have a strength in this area, but not that area. Well, I can help them strengthen that area that they're weaker in. So it's not because I want to pity them or shame them. It's because I actually want to support and undergird them. And that's where, if I can find what's wrong and fix it, then to me, I'm helping to serve people. I'm I want to undergird and bless and promote and release, right? So when you look at all of it, if you'll stop resisting the way you do things, you'll actually get more done. So it's brilliant to me. I visualize solutions. I look at data, research, experience, trials, and then I figure out how to put it all into an organized system. And so knowing this, that's actually helping me to leverage my effort, energy, and time by doing what works best for me. And if we all knew how to do the things that we do best, and we honored that knowledge about ourselves and about other people, we'd actually have teams and families who get more done with greater impact, because everybody brings how and what they do to the table unashamedly. So I think my results seriously point to what kind of coach I am and what kind of mom I am, wife, friend, all the things. But how I approach my client work, my courses, my entrepreneurship, my faith, all of these things, when I blend it together with the other assessments that I use, I think all of those things are really powerful in helping me function at my highest and best, and not because I have to be that way, but because they have helped me identify things and given me language to help me understand, like, oh, I'm doing that because of this, and I'm resisting this, which is causing a problem over here. It's like, I can function better, basically. And just my little side note here is, again, like, I train coaches because I want to multiply the fruit. So I would love to have you join me in the Greenhouse course if you want to get trained as a coach and help people change their minds so they can change their lives. That's my commercial. You could literally use any one of these assessments and go coach anybody to help them shift what they believe and change their mind, and all of that, because I teach you in the Greenhouse course how to use the Pearl practice in all of these areas, shift their paradigm, and everything else will follow. Their emotions will change, their actions will change, they're going to feel and act differently, and they're going to get different results. So back to the Kolbe A. It taught me to commit where I need to, but to commit to very little and target like my top priorities. So unlike time, we can replenish our cognitive energy, but I need downtime to do that. So I can save time by doing what they call, like, they're just like on the list on my results. It's like, do a reality check before going all out with an idea. And I need to protect my energy by cutting my losses when my instincts tell me something's not working. I've known that for a long time, that I have to self-provoke myself to get myself to where I want to go, meaning I'm responsible to motivate myself to take necessary action, to do the thing that I need to do. And ultimately, the Kolbe A points to the fact that we've all been taught ways of doing things that are wrong for us. Might be right for other people. Some of the things are right for us, but in general, it hasn't been dialed into like who we are specifically, because nobody teaches on the cognitive strengths but the Kolbe A, as far as I've found. So knowing that what's best for me is to share what's in my mind instead of trying to make it manifest on my own and like do it by myself, I need to like share it and collaborate. But I need a framework to follow. And it has to allow me to improvise and create like a framework, but it has to be a fluid one. I need to not be trapped, but I also have to develop external accountability that allows for my flexibility and my movement, right? So another thing I really, really like about it is that it's so encouraging to get results that tell me to keep doing intentionally what I love doing. What feels right and intuitive to me, even when the world doesn't get it. And the validation I feel when I read a list of what to do and a list of what not to do, that's totally in alignment with how I naturally operate, is pretty awesome. So, for example, like when you get your results, it tells you like, do this, but don't do that. I'm like, yeah, this is like guidance and direction that I love. And it's totally, totally me. And so it's so validating. For example, my fact finder MO, it says, ask for specifics and get missing information. That's good for me. But over complexity and fine print are not. Some people like that stuff. Is going to suck my brain out. Okay. My follow through MO says, blend different approaches and coordinate with others, but don't create rigid systems or get stuck in repetition. Amen. Thank you. My quick start MO says, listen, It says, do things at the last minute. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you right there, that was worth $200 to have one line of like, you just said, do things at the last minute. Like, I would pay you more than $50 to have somebody tell me that that is not bad or wrong. I'm amazing at doing things at the last minute. And because I did my own pearl practice, and I worked myself through and coached myself to start leveraging this in the past couple of years. Instead of resisting it and fighting it, I've actually found that doing things under pressure is my superpower. But the don't do this list tells me don't second guess yourself, don't conform, and don't stick too close to a script. So me. So the implementer MO is like, and I'm just giving you a little snippet of what my results are. There's so much more to this, but the implementer MO means I should believe all things are possible and to make my decisions without needing too much tangible evidence in my hands, right? But not to take responsibility for things like maintenance and mechanical stuff and broken parts or actual physical things and models, because that type of construct is too concrete for the way I best operate. So I can see all of this stuff in my daily life when I'm operating at what feels like my peak, my natural, like what's good feeling to me when I'm doing things. But I would never have been able to identify all of that and give language to it until I took this assessment. So the Kolbe A shows you how you use your energy in all four of these MOs. And it teaches you how to use the time you have, which is we all have our 24 hours a day, but some people are leveraging it and getting more done. But do what your MO is best at doing so that you can use the least amount of energy and effort required to do what needs to be done, because you're actually doing what comes most easily for you. And everybody has the same amount of doing energy, but it's the way you do the things that makes it all count. So what about you? Do you think you're more likely to envision, restore, or demonstrate, to adapt, maintain, or systematize, to stabilize, modify, or innovate, and to simplify, explain, or specify? If you take the assessment, I would love to know what you find out and what you think about it. And you can join the Christian Life Coach Collective Facebook group. You can leave a review of the podcast and pop in your results there. Tell me what you think, whatever you want to do. But I hope all of this helps you to feel grounded, encouraged, that you are good and you are right here, right where you're at. There's language for it. And that you can do things the way God created you to do them without shame or regret. And you just need some help identifying the way that you uniquely operate and step into your true identity. So the link for the assessment is in the show notes. Kolbe A Index is what it's called. And bless you, friend. Please remember, you are 100% worthy right now where you stand or sit. You are fully lovable, capable, and gifted. And I'm for you. So have a great day. If you'd like to work with me and get coaching, become a coach, or start a coaching business, check out all the courses and coaching I offer at sterlingandstonementoring.com, or you can scroll through the show notes to find all the links that you need. I pray that your day will be full of joy, hope, transformation, and the presence of God.